Live from the internet, it's the Dr. Tom the Frog Show!
Dr. Tom, Adam's ready. What? Oh, all right. Hold on. Check this out, Rogers. Hi-ho! This is Dr. Tom the Frog, and you're watching the Dr. Tom the Frog Show, where we talk about role-playing games! I am super excited to have on a very special guest, but just to let you guys know, I know it's been a while, and people have been asking where I've been. Just to let you know, I was going to go to Washington, D.C. for a little bit of vacay. Rogers' buddy Paul had asked me to go up to D.C., but I heard they were draining the swamp. Then I decided to go tour some microbreweries because, you know me, I love the hops. And then I ended up in the Everglades where... Yeah, no one mentioned alligators, so thanks a lot, people. All right, here we are. So here's our special guest, Adam Dickstein. How are you doing, Adam?
I'm doing well, Dr. Tom. Good to be here.
Great. Now, I understand that you are one of the masterminds behind a very exciting series of games that go on. It's like Wednesday night, normally Kapow, but you guys are doing some crazy stuff during the summer, some kind of mega super summer crossover event. What's going on with that?
Well, my regular Wednesday night Google Hangouts group loves superheroes, and so our GM Keith is running a few sessions of Marvel Heroic.
Oh, nice. Dearly departed Marvel Heroic. So sad. It went too soon.
Yes, I agree. Marvel Heroic, featuring Marvel characters in the Marvel Universe, which will be followed by myself running DC characters in the DC universe using Mutants and Mastermind's 3rd edition official DC Adventures.
Oh, cool. Going all official on all this. Cool. All right.
Yes,
so
very
Marvel, then DC. I love it. So you're going to be all grim and gritty with lots of very sad people, right?
No. Very Silver Age. I'm going for very... smiling Superman and
wow.
Batman in blue with a big yellow circle around us.
Oh, yeah, I dig it. Awesome. Okay, cool.
That will be followed, those two arcs will be followed by a Marvel DC crossover, where some players will be Marvel characters and some players will be DC characters, and they will meet up back in our Kapow system, Kapow game.
That is mega. So DC and Marvel crossing over here. You heard it here. Nobody else could pull it off but role-playing games. I love it.
That's true. Yes, very good point.
Okay, now speaking of role-playing games, Adam, I brought you on because you've done something that's pretty near and dear to my heart. You have just recently released a very cool RPG called the Googly-Eyed Primetime Puppet Show RPG. So it's a Geps. Is that what we call it?
Geps, yes, that's what I call it. Geps.
I love it. It's snazzy. So, what is the Googly-Eyed Primetime Puppet Show game?
Well, it's a lighthearted, rules-light role-playing game in which you play puppets who are the type that sing and dance and tell jokes and do crazy things like eat each other and have themselves shot out of cannons and all kinds of crazy stuff like we have seen over the years on a variety of different shows, specifically variety shows and children's public television educational shows and other such programs featuring puppets.
It's so cool. So it's basically so on this show we will call it Muppets, but it's puppets with a I've got some kind of weird thing. So I'm curious though. Aren't you worried about this getting canceled really quick?
It's not on ABC, so I think I'm okay.
All right.
But basically, what it is it's not just about them, although they are the key inspiration. I have loved puppets and the Muppets and all shows with them since I was a kid. But it's also Kukla, Fran, and Ollie. It's also the Great Space Coaster. and a dozen other shows that use that classic art form that I'm sure you are familiar with in the medium of television and film. So I think it's a celebration of those things.
I think it is too. Now, just for people who haven't picked this sucker up, I'm curious. Is it like troop style play where you're actually putting on the show, or do you really just immerse yourself within one puppet, or how does it go?
In the past, when we've played it, I recommend troop style play. I recommend, much like a good puppeteer where you're doing different characters and different voices. Go ahead and have a couple of different characters. That way, nobody's left out of a scene. Nobody's left out of a moment. Pick a character that fits that scene and just jump right in there. That's probably the best way to go.
Cool. And are there do you get XP for puns?
You absolutely do if you make the table laugh out loud. The key to the game is something called applause.
Uh-huh.
When you get applause, you can use applause to points of applause, often called rounds of applause. You can use them to do various things in the game, change the situation, increase your effect, whatever, what have you. And the way you get those is by having people actually laugh out loud, clap their hands, cheer at you, for something you did during the game. So if the pun is especially good, give that guy a round of applause. Give that gal a cheer for making the table shoot, talking about guys in the nose.
Oh man. So how big is the combat section?
A couple pages, 2 pages, 3 pages. I forget exactly how long it is. It's pretty small. Combat obviously isn't the key, but in the traditional way of the puppets, the kind of puppets we're talking about, there's explosions and there's monsters that try to eat other puppets, and there is certainly conflict. There's hecklers who try to heckle a comedian, for example. That comedian could be some kind of furry animal. And when that happens, that's still conflict, right? So they're still sort of rolling dice against each other, and the loser, their dice goes down. Their ability to the effective goes down, right? So eventually, if it goes down too low, you're kind of out of the scene.
Oh, cool. So now, does this go pretty quickly? Because I would imagine scenes are kind of fast, and since you've got an ensemble, these are hit points for that individual puppet, right?
Right, and applause fly fast and furious if you're doing a good session where everybody's laughing a lot. I tell you, I ran it a couple times at conventions here in New York, and small game day type events, and it was very funny because we would have like a 3 or 4 hour block. And the very first time I did it, in 2.5 hours, we ran through an entire show. There really wasn't, I hadn't realized how fast it was going to go. In follow-ups, I timed it better. And I also expanded the game a little bit to what you get in the book, so that there's sort of more things you can do, and there's a little bit more bits and pieces, stuff like that.
Oh, cool. Okay, awesome. Now, so you can definitely do this for a variety show of some kind, but hey, can you expand it along? Perhaps we could do some kind of crystal-themed fantasy epic. Is that possible?
You certainly could. I am contemplating some supplemental materials, some additional books in the series, one of which is very much geared toward fantasy of the glass-eyed taxidermy eye with the more realistic skin, perhaps the kind you might lose in a goblin maze of some kind.
Oh yeah, with some kind of maze with a British pop star involved. Yes, that sounds
very
good.
Possible. Very possible.
I like this.
Those kind of themes are possible. Also, with the main book itself, there's a lot of references towards the educational public TV use of puppets.
Oh.
And I have played the game and used the game with kids, and it is a good game for parents who are gamers who have kids who are trying to teach their kids their ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, and certainly this is a good way a good tool you can use to do that. Whether or not I make a whole book about it later, I don't know. It depends on the interest.
See, RPGs are not where the money's at. You need to get into education, Adam.
yes, exactly.
Do you have to have a puppet? Do you have to have a puppet? Not everybody has a puppet, but do you have to have one to play?
No, it's not. It's funny. Do you need miniatures to run role-playing games?
D&D,
you don't need them.
Fourth ed, definitely
For you, but in general, you don't have to. So no, you really. It's rare that there are actual puppets at the table. However, if actual puppets could be at the table, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Oh man, this is cool. Okay. All right. So now, where can people pick this up? Because hopefully everybody is into puppets. Because I'm into puppets. I actually have some puppets. But let's okay. So if people want to get the googly-eyed Primetime Puppet Show RPG, where can they pick that up, Adam?
That item is exclusively available for download on Drive-Thru RPG and .com, drivethrurpg.com, as well as RPG Now, its sister site. And I think, I'm not positive, I believe there is also a print option, where you can buy a printed one.
Uh-huh.
If not, I'll double check that, because I'm looking into picking up a few maybe for conventions and some local shops as well. But right now it's a strictly online PDF format and available through drivethrurpg.com and rpgnow.com.
All right, cool. Okay, all right. Enough of this talking about the Google Eye Puppet. Now it's time for a serious question. Adam, are you ready for a serious question?
Yes, I'm ready for a serious question.
You're going to hate this one. All right, here we go. So, crack riding staff have decided to super stump you. Here we go.
Okay.
Gonzo or Fozzie Bear? Choose quick. Go. Dun, dun, dun.
That's easy. It's no question. Gonzo. Absolutely 100% Gonzo.
Wrong. It's Animal. Good try, though. Good try.
Oh, I don't know. He's the great Gonzo.
He is pretty amazing.
I mean, he's great. It's in his name.
Well, okay, all right. But there's the chicken thing. It's a little disturbing.
Sure. I'm not going to lie. It's a little weird.
All right. Well, Adam, thank you so much for coming on to talk about the googly-eyed Primetime Puppet Show game. It's been fantastic having you on.
Thank you. It was fantastic being on. It was great to meet you, Dr. Tom, and I'm happy to be here. I'm glad you had me. Thank you so much.
All right.
Tom is a frog, a doctor and a frog. He lives on a log in the middle of a bog. He likes to talk about RPGs, and his guests are the bee's knees. Thank you for watching. He is Dr. Tom. He is Dr. Tom the Frog.